Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Do not forget to hit subscribe. So today you can see a couple of mini polishers over here. This one's going to come in useful for comparison, but I'm going to be reviewing this In2detailing mini polisher or nano polisher. I'm not sure how it's going to be branded. This has been sent to me to test by Imran, the man from In2detailing. You give him some feedback and film it at the same time on the channel. Now let's just get some important information in here. I believe this machine is going to cost around about £200, okay? And it's going to come with a rotary attachment on this extension bar, which is a long extension bar. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. It's going to come with an 8mm adapter, which goes in there and screws in. So it gives you an 8mm offset. And it's going to come with a 12mm adapter. So it's 12mm, it's offset even more, so it's a slightly longer throw. So you've got three different adapter interfaces, and you've got three different backing plates, or sanding pads as they call them, but these are what your sponge polishing pads mount to, okay? Yeah, backing plates. 3-inch, or 75mm as we sometimes call it, I think. Don't know if that's exact. 2-inch, which is hard to get pads for actually, but there are a few 2-inch pads out there. And then 1-inch, or sometimes 30mm, whatever, and these are the flex pads. Now, this will come with about 10 to 14 pads, like Imran's previous polisher that this is going to replace came with pads, so I think Imran wants to, you know, it's important to do that, I think, and that will be coming along, but I can't review that in this particular review because it's a prototype, okay? So you will get a load of pads with it. Now let's just have a look at the weight of this thing, because weight is pretty important. This is only roughly, because I've got the extension bar on this and a different adapter on there, but it just gives us a good idea. 863 grams, so it's quite light, less than a bag of sugar. I think this feels slightly heavier to me, I don't know. Yeah, actually it is, yeah, so 1,051 grams, so a couple of 100 grams or whatever heavier than this one. So these machines are pretty light. Don't worry about the weight, you know, even the difference in weight between these is pretty negligible. That's one thing, so you're never going to get sort of tired arms using them. Now, let's talk about batteries. So this kit comes with 2 batteries that has a recorded charge time of 45 minutes. And I'm going to be testing this. I've got to drain the batteries first, so I'm going to fully charge that one, drain it, and then record how long it takes me to drain it on full power, and then how long it takes me to charge once it's fully drained, and see if it's around about 45 minutes. And then have a talk about downtime, okay? And I'll overlay that with the PXE recharge times and downtime. But I've been using this machine for many years now, or what, 4 or 5, I don't know, since it was launched, and I never have downtime with it, but I have tons of batteries and 2 chargers, but I only ever need 1. Anyway, that is important. There is no powered adapter as at the moment I shoot this, but that may come. You may be able to plug an adapter in, a bit like you could do on the Rupes Nano, where you could run it off the mains, which might be desirable for some people, but I can't see why. It'd just be an emergency, but you always want to really run this on batteries. Let's just talk about some key features, because this mini polisher is obviously going to get compared to the PXE. This is the point where she comes in. Suze, don't interrupt, love. I'm filming, please. I told you. I told her, just give me half an hour. I've got to film. I'm in a rush. She comes out, talk. Anyway, you're going to think I'm a nutter. It's very frustrating when you get interrupted. So what was I saying? The 2 differences. These machines are going to get compared because this machine looks like it's modelled on this machine. You know, it just looks like it, doesn't it? The red and the black, the sizes, the shape of the interface. Yeah, but there are some key differences. One, it's using its own battery system, which are integrated into the shaft, so you don't get the square battery on the end, which you could argue is an improvement, but that doesn't bother me at all. It's not intrusive enough, you know, that's absolutely fine. But that's a difference. The other difference is the PXE has quick release, which is lovely. So I can go from this adapter here, which I think has got 12mm throw, to a sanding daisy with a 2mm throw, or to a rotary adapter, or that's a non-proprietary 2-inch one and an extension arm. So you can get, you know, this APS do these kits that might actually fit. It's interesting. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, see if that fits. It probably will. That's going to be quite useful. So the Flex proprietary system of plates with the quick release is much better than the, you know, this one where you have to screw this in using spanners and stuff like that. And that is because this is protected, you know, so they can't do a quick release on it, or it's going to be, you know, it's going to be copying the Flex. So there's a compromise for you. We mentioned this is going to be about 200 quid with pads and 2 batteries, and that price is fantastic. That I think will cost you, you know, go and have a look on him around the site. I better flash it up, but I think it's in the kit with a couple of batteries and everything. It might be 500 to 600 pounds, something like that. I'll flash it up. So there's a big difference in price, but you are getting some benefits. Now let's just go on and use this. And next, guys, I want to talk about speed. So this machine operates at a lowest speed of 2,000 RPMs and an upper speed of 5,800 RPMs, which is identical to the Flex. Sometimes the Chinese try and outdo them. You know, they usually make that a little bit higher, but you won't really want to polish faster than 5,800 RPM on this little mini polisher. So next I want to just show you the adapter plate switchover, guys, and then we'll demo the tool in use, okay? So I think most people are going to be using this in in DA mode, I would imagine, because these are quite powerful. But you will, every now and then, want to use the rotary for really intricate areas. And I'll just demo that. You know, you probably want to use the rotary mode with the 1-inch pad for getting into all of this. That would be ideal for polishing that. Might even be ideal for polishing that, wouldn't it? So really tight areas. Of course, you can put the 1-inch pad onto the to the 12-inch or the 12mm throw or 8mm throw DA adapter. So whenever you're going to change pads, you're going to put this bar through here and just spin it so that when you put this in, you'll feel it won't go through. But if you rotate it, eventually you'll feel there the hole, and that will lock that in now. So then you can undo your, you know, your pipe. You get the spanner on that if it's stiff. You can take that off. Then you get your 12mm throw adapter, which is this one here, and you get this spanner, which comes with it. And you can see that spanner is just going to hook on to there like that. So you can pop that in the machine, put it on loosely if you like, or whatever. Then just spin this round like this until you feel it lock, which shouldn't take that long. Oh, leave it off. Great demo, John. Don't pick it up, just leave it on the deck. Oh yeah, there you go. Do it, tighten it up with your fingers until it gets to that stage where it needs to be tight, and then tighten the rest up with that. You don't have to go mad, but obviously you want it nice and tight. So there we go, that's in now. Then to put your plate in, you need to lock off the free spinning bearing, or else it's just going to spin as you put that in there. And then, yeah, you just tighten that up. You know, don't go mad, because these are plastic threaded, the same on the Flex. So don't really crank them up, okay? Just whack them on. And then you put your pad on, okay? Now to fire up the machine, press and hold the power button. It's now on, and you can go plus to get to your maximum speed of 5,800, minus to go down to off, you know, to no speed at all. Or you can just turn the machine off when you're finished by holding it down. If you turn the machine off and turn it back on again, it won't start up, it resets it back to no power, which is probably the sensible way to do it. Okay, it's a slightly different mechanism to the Flex. And the Flex has a trigger lock right there, okay? I will say one thing, ergonomically, when you've got your hand there, which is where you kind of grip it, the on and off button is just a bit of a stretch. You have to hold your hand a bit higher, just where it feels a little bit non-alien. So it's just a little, it's not much. I would also say that power on button could be massive. Just make a big Tonka style massive button there rather than a little tiny one. Would probably be more desirable, but you know, it's not that important. I'll just show you removing the batteries, because that's nice and you know, it's no hassle doing that. It's nice and easy. So there we go. Changing the plate is a little bit more involved than the flex machine. So let's turn this on now. What do I think about noise and vibration on these machines? Well, let's just run this up so you can get a real idea. So at 2000 RPM, its slowest speed, feels quite powerful still, but you can see me stalling it out relatively easy on my hand, but very little vibration. Up to 3000. I still think you're going to want to go faster to polish. 4000 is probably your lowest polishing speed there. And that's getting harder to stall. And then it jumps up to 5.8, so a big jump up to top power, where that's got, you can feel the vibration a bit more, you can hear it a bit more. So let's just turn that off, and then we'll compare that to the flex. It's quite interesting actually, because I've done this before and I don't think, so the flex will remember what power you were on from last time, but it won't ever give you top power. So if you turn it off on 4, it will give you 3 next time. The flex is definitely quieter, but the vibration level feels similar to me. The power increase incrementals you'd think would be the same, although the flex just feels like it's not working as hard. It feels much more relaxed. It feels like it's not spinning as fast as well. Now the flex gets going a bit and I'm getting a little bit of vibration, and then it's at full whack. If we just turn the other machine on, go up to full whack, the other machine is slightly louder, but vibration wise you're not going to really notice the difference. In fact, that feels quite smooth for a Chinese machine. Normally they're a little bit more grindy, aren't they? So let's put the plate back on this machine. Let's actually do a live polishing thing with this. Just see what it's like on the panel. So we'll put a little bit of polish, you know, this is like a glazy thing. I'm not trying to cut my car, just 3 little dots. And we'll just go up on this top panel here. And everything you do with mini polishers, you alter. So if you're using a 3-inch pad, that would be a sensible like set area. If you try and do the same size set, you know, like 2x2 with a little mini pad, it's not going to work. You have to slow down a little bit if you're going to apply the same sort of polishing method. So we would turn on, hold our finger down, sorry. Now we're on, and we'd power up. So yeah, it's speed 1, you could just spread your polish with that speed. It's not fast enough. See, it's stalling out. So I'm going to go up to the one up from top. So we're at 4000 now. And I can push down and it's not stalling, and it feels quite nice. But a bit like the PXE, I tend to always polish on top whack with it because it just feels right. That feels good. I'm pushing down quite a lot there. Feels lovely. It's a good polisher. It's got plenty of gas. Yeah. Very easy to hold. Actually, surprisingly good for the price. All sort of with this rubberized coating all over it, except for the battery. So be careful not to drop this onto the panel, but that is the same with the flex actually. The battery is like plastic. Always think they might be better off making these batteries for flex and this Chinese one with the rubberized coating on it. See, some people might want to wrap it in tape or whatever. Just have to be careful you're not interfering with the cooling. Yeah, because you've got cooling vents there, I think, as well. Yeah, interesting. Very good. Let's just put a little bit more polish on. In fact, let's just swap over. I want to see what this is like if we put a 1-inch plate on. It's relatively easy to swap plates. it's less easy to swap adapters. Whenever you're using little pads, use even less polish. You could do 3 tiny dots if you want to, just a little bit. That's probably enough. And again, you would shorten your set size down, but you would do this all in one, wouldn't you? But I'm just going to do this a little bit, see how it fares on with this adapter. This is a very small plate to use with a 12mm throw. Don't think the Flex lets you do that. It might do, don't quote me on that. It's nice though. So you can use your little DA. That works brilliantly. That's not top speed. Now I'm on top speed. That's lovely. And that is the perfect size pad for doing that sort of polishing. And it'd be the same if I was polishing on here. Look at, it's the absolute perfect size for certain bits of the car. And I can't stall it completely. I mean, I can slow it down, because it's not driven. You know, it's free spinning, but that's pretty impressive. So, if you try to polish that with a larger pad, you're just going to be polishing over the tape, you know, into that tape line and running the polisher over all the bits that aren't properly stuck down. So yeah, using the right size pad is really good. That's some easy to use polish, that is, because I don't want to do any more cutting on my car. So guys, I hope I'll display that runtime information and charge time, because that's really important. But I hope this has been useful to you. The main thing I'm taking away from this is, pound for pound, what is the better polisher? If you had no budgetary constraints, well, I would use the PXC all day long. If you can afford to get this tool, buy this tool. Why? Because of the adapter system. I love that adapter plate system. I use that adapter plate system. I never have to go and look for the spanners and all that. So the PXC is a better tool. It's just as powerful. Feels like it's not working quite hard. The Flex batteries are probably going to be higher quality than these batteries. So yeah, the Flex is without doubt the better machine. But for the money, £200, what you are getting with this machine is really good ergonomics. You know, a really nice polisher to hold and operate. Could be some little minor improvements, but you're not getting the adapter plate system with it. But you are going to get a load of pads. You are going to get a nice kit with 2 batteries, and it's going to cost you a lot less money. Sometimes I say, you know, with the Chinese tools, where you have them as backup tools and stuff like that, you could use that as your primary nano polisher, no problem. But your professional detailers won't like swapping the plates over. So what a pro might do is polish with a big dual action polisher, have a 3-inch mini, you know, on a power, you know, on a cord or something like that, because they'll use, you know, they'll use a long throw and a 3-inch mini as a good combo, and then permanently have your Nano hooked up with either rotary or DA 1-inch pad and use it that way with the spot pads, because obviously your 3-inch polisher up there can't support the spot pads. This can support these 3-inch pads that go on that one, but these cordless machines don't have quite the same amount of grunt as a big corded 3-inch mini. But I often use this to polish bumpers with the 3-inch mode. As long as you're not doing major cutting, it's just a shine up, then these are pretty good. Yeah, good machines. Good machines, guys. So I think this is going to be popular. What can't you test in this video, John? What don't you know? Well, if you go and use this polisher every day for the next 6 months, what happens when you've done 100 charge cycles on the battery? Does the battery performance deteriorate right down? Do you have any issues? Do you have any mechanical failures? All that sort of stuff. No idea. You know, I never know that. I never know that with the Flex or the Rupes. This is brand new, and I'm just giving you my kind of first impressions of it. But yeah, impressed for the money. Tons of power, nice economics, a lot of other kit for your value for money. And the only downside is it doesn't have quick release. It's a little bit noisier and a tiny bit more vibration. It does feel like it's operating quicker than the Flex. You know, you can see that. It feels like it's spinning faster, but it isn't according to the RPM guides. It's also lighter than the Flex. So there you go, guys. These kinds of things tend to sort themselves out. You can get this polisher from Imran In2detailing. You can try the code Forensic. If it doesn't work, it's non-discountable. But yeah, I think that's a lot of machine for not a lot of money. And what's happening now, I think, is more and more people are getting into detailing. You know, 10 years ago when I started the channel, these things didn't even exist really, these nano polishers. Well, there was some sort of things floating around that were close to them, but not really as we know it. It was Life Gym, but not as we know it. And then you had the Rupes hybrid come out, and even though that tool was expensive, not everyone could afford it, everyone, I think, could see how cool a concept it was. And I think that caused a revolution, and it caused all the other brands to go and make mini nano polishers. And then it caused all the Chinese manufacturers to jump in on it and make nano polishers. And now you've got a little bit of choice, which is good. You know, for these to get a 5-star review, what I want is for it to be the price that it is. I want the pads that come with it to be really good. I want the battery to outperform the Flex one. And I want some features on these tools that these tool manufacturers have thought of themselves. You know, if they ever do that, then they'll get top marks. That doesn't tend to happen with polishers. These polishers are heavily inspired by the other existing ones that are made from Rupes and Flex, aren't they? They just are. So yeah, that's where we are with this, guys. A good machine for the money. Take care. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you soon on the Forensics Detailing channel. Loads to come, guys. Loads to come. We're hustling. We're working. I'm on it. I'm on it. You've never seen me so busy. I need to be busy. I need to make some bloody money. Anyway, that's it for this one. Take care.